not really a runner's physique. I don't say that to be self-disparaging. I just have clarity on which genetic lottery I won. I do not come from running people. I come from close to the earth people. And am a version of all the women that came before me, women who could wrestle and harness farm animals and have dinner ready in just a few hours. I am of hardy Hungarian and German stock, stout, sturdy, reliable, like a mountain goat. There are no lean, lithe gazelles of any kind in my lineage whatsoever. And I have lots of insight and acceptance about my capacity and limits and what risks I am willing to take on. However, the brain on grief can be a very sketchy place, often leading us into uncharted territory without any consideration of one's best interest or genetic download. So after experiencing the worst kind of betrayal and heartbreak, let's call it marital infidelity, hers, not mine, I know I need something besides my all-encompassing grief to get me going and to start collecting the pieces of my mind that had been lost along the way. So on Christmas morning, 2014, I wake up and I decide to run 6 miles. Right? Who is this person? The brain on grief, that's who. I tell myself that if I manage this run without incident or injury, that I will sign up for the Denver Colfax Half Marathon in May the following year, so 5 months. I manage, and with one click, I am registered. I decide that this race was going to heal my brokenness and nudge me back into living. It was really a tall order, but I needed some kind of a win here. But I want to be clear. I was not and never have been a runner, but in this brief window of anguish, I tell myself that I am. And at this point, I am marginally functional, trying to still parent and not get fired. Failure was not an option. So I decide to follow the training plan from couch to half marathon to a T, because I have a smidge of the OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, so that was really helpful in that time. But we all know that even with the best choreographed plans, things can go sideways. 10 days before the race, I am diagnosed with Morton's neuroma. It's so bad. This condition causes sharp shooting, burning pain in the ball of the foot and then numbs all the toes that are affected. For me, it was all my toes. The cure, can you guess? Rest, no running. And when I hear this from my doctor, I kind of disassociate a little bit. I see red, and I probably blurt out something like, "Fuck no." I tell her to help me. I wear her down, and she eventually reluctantly agrees to inject my feet with cortisone. Huge needle. I looked away. On the day of the race, I slathered my feet in liquid ibuprofen and dosed as heavily as I could the oral version to avoid any kind of liver damage. I finish, which is actually quite remarkable because Just wait. So I finish. But at mile 11, so it's kind of remarkable because at mile 11, I am curled up on the front lawn of a historic home on 7th Avenue, without shoes, with a bit of delirium, and realizing that this pain was kind of similar to birthing children and my bouts of kidney stones. However, once my feet are mostly healed, we know what happens. Amnesia sets in. And I decide I can still do short runs because now I am a runner. So while visiting my parents, who still live in my childhood home on the west side of Milwaukee, I lace up one Sunday and head out. Short run, what could possibly go wrong? About a third of the way in, I noticed some familiar belly grumbling. And I ignore it because that's what I do, and I had managed all sorts of acute biological issues during training. Plus, I knew where all the facilities were, so I'm fine. And then it hits. I pick up the pace, golf court facilities, giant padlocks. I hurry up a little bit more. I get to the tennis court facilities. Those are also locked. I can no longer ignore the true urgency of my situation. I begin to sweat and pace. There's no Starbucks or gas station nearby. And I'm thinking, I'm not really feeling bold to knock on a stranger's door with this emergency. So I look around. No people anywhere. No one mowing or strolling. No one pulling up to play tennis. So I strategically lead into this hidden-ish corner of the building after I ruch my running skirt, of course I'm wearing a skirt, to my ankles, and experience the most epic kind of relief imaginable. All is well until the adolescent Doogie Howser-looking park employee comes barreling around the corner. He stops dead in his tracks. Our gaze meets. I see the horror in his eyes, but I cannot pause. So I shield my face to hide my identity while trying to manage the lean. And that was it. And in that moment, I'm like, the city of Milwaukee has to have ordinances against these sorts of activities. I get really afraid. But he leaves within seconds. I finish, bury the evidence like a feral cat. I abandon my inner mountain goat and run like what else? A fucking gazelle. Do I ever go back to that park? No. Did my brief career in running heal my heart? Not really. That took time, a lot of expensive therapies, and a few more spirals into madness. But do I still fancy myself a runner? Absolutely. But I believe this is what we therapists call magical thinking. Thank you.